Back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Dylan Przybylski. How's it going, man?
I'm doing great. I was not expecting this, but I'm happy to be on the podcast.
Yeah, why not? Um, so kind of just first off, kind of tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Well, like you mentioned, I'm Dylan Przybylski, and I am a aspiring sports broadcaster, but I would rather go into like the TV anchoring side of it, but I do a lot of broadcasting and sports anchoring at my school.
So just kind of okay. So before we get into what you've done, kind of just talk about why you wanted to get into this crazy business we call broadcast.
Yeah, so I would say it started in middle school when I realized I was not going to be a professional athlete.
Okay.
And then I was starting to think, well, what could I do? And that's where I came to the conclusion of, hey, people get paid to be radio hosts, TV hosts, broadcasters. So that's where I got that idea. And then my sophomore year of high school, I was asked to be the PA announcer for home events. So I did wrestling, volleyball, basketball at the high school. And then by my senior year, I was asked to be on the local radio station to broadcast at the Crest Center. That's UW-GB's arena. And I've been doing that for the last 2 years. And ever since I've been in love with it and can't get out of it. I just have the itch for it now.
Yeah. So where do you go to college?
The University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh.
Okay, so for people that don't know, that's in the Wisconsin system, but it's kind of its own deal, and then it's kind of so could just explain it.
So the University of Wisconsin is weird. So basically it's all one system.
Yeah.
Like the programs are all one system, but like each school was like picked out to be its own representative. So like Oshkosh is best known for their nursing program. And then you have Whitewater that's known for their business side of it. And Platteville is engineering. So Oshkosh was originally the nursing program, but now it's kind of what should I say? It's changed a lot. I just had a motorcycle. Sorry about that.
You're good.
So it's changed a lot to where now all the systems are its own school, but they have like they're still cliched under programs.
Yeah. All right. So talk about what you've been able to cover and what you've been able to call.
So I have been able to cover in my college career so far as a freshman. I was able to cover the volleyball for the radio. I was doing a lot of color commentary to just put my foot in the door of college broadcasting. And then I really started to ramp up my experience by doing play-by-play for the TV station. We have a Titan TV station. So I started doing a lot of play-by-play and color for them. And then the second semester went through, and again, second semester being crazy with basketball, I was asked to do a lot of the games, both men's and women's. And probably the biggest game I did was the round of 32 game for D3 NCAA tournament between Oshkosh and Hope. I was the color commentator for that, and that was a lot of fun. I was able to do it with my good friend Corey Sparks.
Okay. So by the way, you're doing all this stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, you're a freshman.
Yeah, that's the wild thing. And that's just like the broadcasting side of it. Like I anchor the sports for our news station, so I do all the anchoring every Friday, and then I also am a part of a class where I do sports casts for the radio station, and then I also have my own sports talk show. Not to mention I have my own podcast as well.
You're pretty busy there, bud.
Yeah, I try to stay busy.
That's what you got to do, man. So what is your favorite sport to cover?
My favorite sport would have to be the sport I've played the most, and that would be basketball. There's
Okay.
just a different form of that game that is so pretty that I really enjoy. It's it's high intensity, fast paced, and there's just a lot of big moments that can happen. And you can say that about a lot of sports, but for me, it'd be basketball. Like football, I haven't done football yet, but I would love to do football. And then baseball is something I don't think I could do. It's a different pace, a different style of broadcasting, which is something that it's like not my cup of tea, the slow pace storytelling. I'm more of like go, 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 and that's what basketball is.
So I know you have another couple other sports you like to watch. What are some of the other things that you're kind of into? Like you've always like, outside of college, if there's something you want to cover, what do you think it would be?
Outside of college, I would love to cover golf. I think that would be fun. I'm a big golfer. So in the summers, because we don't get a chance to golf year round in Wisconsin, I am on the course 24/7. Pretty much if I'm not at work, I'm golfing. I'm on the course. I'm one of those guys. And then I would love to cover um probably the Olympics. Like the like the relays and the running events and pole vault. I was a pole vaulter in high school, so I'd love to cover pole vault.
Yeah. You mentioned golf, obviously. What happened today? At time of recording, this actually just wrapped up the Masters just got done. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big John Rahm fan. I have been a fan of his since 3 years ago, so I'm really happy to see him earn his green jacket finally. I was pulling for Zalatoris because he's been starting to become my favorite golfer because a lot of people say I look like him, but I don't really see the comparison. But I mean, so like for me, Zalatoris and John Rahm are like one and two for my favorites. And for him to win today, John Rahm, it was awesome to see that.
Yeah, and this is of course a Masters tournament unlike any other because, well, I mean, the slogan is a tradition unlike any other, but it literally was unlike any other because of the rain that we had to deal. So you got up in the morning, probably when you came home, probably when people came home from services or whatever. Hey, guess what? The Masters kit is on. So,
Yeah.
the third round was finished this morning, and then you got going with the fourth round today, and I mean, Rom was like four shots back, and then I think slowly he was catching up to Kepka, and just we were able to get by. And this was really also the first Masters with Live Golf now around, and of course, a lot of those guys were up there today. And I think it would be quite interesting to see if one of those guys to see what the reaction would be if one of them won.
Yeah, I'm not a big Liv fan, so to see Kepka kind of choke in the fourth round was really nice to see
Yeah.
because I don't appreciate like the not earning your purse. I like the idea of earning your purse instead of getting just shoveled money and then competing for no reason to win money really.
Well, we'll see how that goes as time goes on. But congrats to John Rahm. He won the Masters today. I wanted to get a little talk about that because I know you're into golf and all that stuff. I mean, if you got to work at a golf course, that'd be fun.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I would love it so much.
So like, what are you kind of talked about like, you're just a freshman. You've gotten to do all these things. Did you expect any of this?
Oh no. No, if you would have told me this like would be happening like a year ago, I would have said no way, you're crazy. Because even at Wisconsin schools, we have our own like awards for broadcasting and like TV stations and radio stations. One of my games was took first place for TV play-by-play and color, and then our we did a PTI style like show, special show, and that took second. And we're competing against the likes of Marquette, Madison, GB, Whitewater are all powerhouses within the sports reporting and journalism field. And to bring home a first place and a second place as a freshman was absolutely breathtaking. I mean, it's crazy to think that I've done all this as a freshman already, and I've still got 3 years to grow and like learn.
Yeah, for sure. What are your goals for next year?
My goals for next year would be to really start to fine tune my work. So like over the summer, I'm gonna really like look at my work that I've done this entire year, and I'm really gonna fine tune everything, starting to get a better cadence, starting to get better in the terminology of like not using the same words over and over. So like for example, in basketball, not saying it's good or no good, shot won't fall. Like simple terms like that, I want to get out of my vocabulary and start really pushing myself hard.
All right. And then just lastly, best moment from this year.
Best moment was I was doing play-by-play for women's basketball, and I got to call two buzzer beaters.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was something I couldn't have imagined. Another thing that just happened like in the moment.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and we'll definitely be following you, Dylan, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Awesome. Thank you, Casey.